Munodipaza manyeme. Baba, Baba. Munodipaza manyeme. Baba, Baba. Munodipaza manyeme.
Let me assure you that tomorrow is brighter than yesterday.
Healthy habits start with a healthy smile. A happy mouth is a happy mind. Brush your teeth twice a day and visit your dentist regularly. TM Pick and Pay. Real value always. It's time for the news.
Good evening and welcome to the main news. My name is Joyce Mabika. Nobo Maungwa is on sign language.
It's great to have you along. My name is Butler Nepure. These are tonight's top stories.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa reminds ZANU-PF party members to be first responders to people's challenges.
In your business news, Zimbabwe's labor sector engages with government and business on productivity. Warriors dent Nigeria's World Cup hopes after a 1-1 draw in Uyo. That and more in sport. Let's start with tonight's top story. Now, the President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, says party members must be first responders to challenges facing the people. Addressing the 382nd Politburo meeting in Harare, President Mnangagwa challenged members to walk with the people and respond to their needs.
The 382nd Ordinary Session of the ZANU-PF Politburo precedes the Central Committee meeting being held this coming Thursday, the 27th of March 2025. As tradition and the constitution of the party bids, the two meetings are there to reflect and discuss matters affecting the nation, said the party's First Secretary, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa.
In the agriculture sector, transformational programs are underway to guarantee national food security and sovereignty. A clear framework is now in place to facilitate the issuance of title deeds towards guaranteeing security of tenure and access to financing for that particular sector. I call upon stakeholders in the agriculture sector to revamp up preparations for the upcoming 2025 winter wheat season. Infrastructure projects are set to resume in earnest with the impending end of the rain season. The housing stock in our country is increasing at a phenomenal pace, with remarkable improvements and modernization, especially in rural areas and growth points. Tourist arrivals are reaching unprecedented levels, while mining sector projects are coming on stream and having an overall positive impact on our country's GDP.
The president of the party said all indicators give us a positive picture that the country is on the rise and that the Vision 2030 is attainable.
The significant participation of industry stakeholders in this strategic initiative reignites the party's state and the private sector partnerships. Well done to the Youth League. Support for innovative and private enterprises, as well as long-term multi-sectorial empowerment pathways which benefit the youth and women, are being implemented at an accelerated pace. Under my leadership, ZANU-PF is prioritizing the dignity of hard, honest work.
Comrade Mnangagwa said, "This party, ZANU-PF, is a colossal revolutionary movement, and all its members have a job to do."
Zimbabwe will forever be a constitutional, democratic, and sovereign nation, with all of us living in unity and in peace and in harmony. Vana ukura ngavarambe havo vachikura. MuZANU-PF tinotevera gwara romusangano nguva dzose. Our party constitution is sacred. It is like roots and the trunk of a tree. And we, the members, are its branches. As with any other revolution, those who do not toe the correct line of the revolution must fall by the wayside. All our energies, our hands and our minds must be fixated on modernizing and growing our party membership base, undertaking projects and initiatives that improve household incomes and the quality of life of our people must be the main focus of our party and the nation as a whole.
The first secretary of the party also touched on the 45th independence anniversary preparations and the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, saying they are on course. Individually and collectively, we must demonstrate exceptional leadership, understanding the weighty obligation to deliver quality service to all Zimbabweans, said the president, so that their aspirations and goals are achieved. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, prior to the Politburo meeting, the president was at State House, where he engaged vendors' representatives and noted the importance of developing a framework for structured vendor regulation that balances between urban order and the need for informal traders to earn a living. Bruce Chawanda was there.
The engagement saw President Mnangagwa outlining the importance government attaches to informal traders and their role in the economy while sustaining livelihoods for millions of Zimbabweans. He emphasized that dialogue must give insights to government officials as they address their grievances and explore policy solutions for the formalization and modernization of the sector. Informal traders representatives expressed gratitude to government for the engagement and implored their constituency not to be used by unscrupulous elements to frustrate strategies to bring order and grow the economy.
Tafara zvikuru nekuwaniswa mukana watawaniswa swara nhasi. Isusu sema vendors tatichitaurira president kuti hatinei nezvemademonstrations anotikanganisa mashandiro edu, anotikanganisa mabasa edu. Mustreet ndo mune rugare rwedu. Tinorarama mukutengesa.
Ekukusukucela thina ukuthi ku ama vendors kakhulelwe akuvulwe amagedi bephume ezindlini besebenza. Uvumile upresident konke lokho. Sevumile upresident. Okunye silakho lapha ukuthi khona kungabi lo msindo, asifuni kuzwa umsindo abadisturba abantu ukuthiwa ngama vendors babulala abantu. Akula lutho lapha abancedisa khona.
During the engagement with the president, several key solutions were made to rescue our trade while upholding urban order and public interest. Vendors committed to maintain clean and organized trading spaces, ensure that public areas remain accessible to all.
Cabinet ministers who attended the engagement reviewed plans to construct modern stores for the informal sector.
All these representatives, they are in agreement with government to make sure that vending doesn't actually bring in a lot of confusion in towns.
We have found each other, the vending community, Minister of Local Government, and their parent ministry, Minister of Women Affairs. We have found each other. We're going to be working together, urban area by urban area, throughout the country.
The Second Republic is pushing for the formalization of the informal sector to ensure vendors operate in structured manner with construction of modern stores with the requisite water and sanitation infrastructure high on the priority list. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
Invictus Energy and its partners involved in exploration of gas in the Muzarabani Basin are set to commence drilling of a third well near Hoya in the next phase of their drilling program to gather seismic data.
The Invictus board and management has been meeting in the country, with the company chairperson, John Bentley, reaffirming commitment to the success of the Mzarabani gas exploration project.
This is the one asset that Invictus has, so it is getting our total focus. There is nothing else we're looking at anywhere else in the world, or indeed in Zimbabwe. This is where all the money we raise goes into this project. And to date, we have raised over $130 million, I think, and nearly all of that has gone into the ground here.
We've got a big program that we've got planned coming up in the next phase of our work program. We'll be back drilling again, and again acquiring additional seismic data, and that's going to lead to a lot more activity on the ground.
With 2 wells having been drilled out of its massive 440,000 hectare licensed exploration area, Geo Associates Managing Director Paul Pfumvudza highlighted exploration will continue in the long term, although efforts are being made to convert gas to power in the short term.
We are still continuing with the exploration, but we have taken a deliberate decision that we try to reach sort of a compromise position where we look at the possibilities of proof of concept type production from the wells that we are drilling now. Hence our engagement, which are in the public domain, with the likes of Eureka Mine, where we are going to from here.
National and Central Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Christopher Magomo, met with the Invictus board this Tuesday and reassured them of government's full support.
The much-awaited exploitation of oil and gas resources in our province represents a transformative opportunity for Mzarabani, Mbire, and the nation large. This project has the power to unlock unprecedented economic growth, create jobs, and catalyzes infrastructural development, lifting our communities to new heights of prosperity beyond our borders. It positions Zimbabwe as a formidable player in the global energy landscape.
Meanwhile, Invictus has established a permanent office in Mzarabani, underlining its confidence in the Mzarabani gas exploration project, with traditional leaders welcoming the move, saying it will ensure easier communication. Tapiwa Machemeze, ZBC News, Mzarabani.
Now, a study commissioned by the Society of Mining Professors has revealed massive untapped mining projects in Zimbabwe, which can be sustained through investments in skills and technology.
The 14th Society of Mining Professors Conference underway in Harare has seen mining experts acknowledging vast untapped opportunities in Zimbabwe that are open for investments.
Zimbabwe has a huge potential in mining, and it could be a magnet for investors for all around the world, and it can contribute to the development of this beautiful country.
The excitement is in the air in terms of what is possible in Zimbabwe in terms of technology and mining, and what it could offer to the next level of engineers and the future engineers as well.
The industry and the academia have to work together in order to have the possibility to have all these resources that is necessary for the development, not just of the country, but all the society in general.
Focus is therefore on massive exploration to determine the value of the untapped resources, including identifying them for the benefit of investors.
Zimbabwe needs both capital investment and human resources investments. As you can see, we are expanding the human resource base so that the skills are there. And I believe with those skills in the capital, and also now that the networking is in place, then we expect that exploration will come.
His Excellency came up with Zimbabwe's Open for Business mantra. And this Zimbabwe's Open for Business mantra has enabled a lot of investments and a lot of appetite to collaborate with government in various spheres, which include the academia, which is the research, and particularly the mining professors.
The three-day conference has attracted mining experts from several countries across the globe, as Zimbabwe continues to be a source of attraction for mining projects. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill has gone through the second reading in Senate this Wednesday. Let's get more from John Nandara.
The Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill, which recently sailed through the National Assembly, seeks to align the Broadcasting Services Act with the Constitution and also the Public Entities Corporate Governance Act. Information Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jennifer Muskwere gave his second reading of the bill, citing the clauses and provisions of the bill.
Mr. President, Clause 3 amends Section 2A of the Act to provide that the role of the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe is to regulate and manage the broadcasting service bands for sustenance rather than controlling broadcasting service bands. The intention is to move away from a perception that the legislation is intended to stifle the freedoms guaranteed by Section 61 of the Constitution and instead to focus on necessary regulation of the airwaves.
Cognizant of the evolving technological advancements, one of the clauses provides classification for broadcasting services.
Clause 5 amends Section 7, subsection 2 of the Principal Act, which provides for classes of broadcasting services and systems which may be licensed by the authority. The amendments have been necessitated by developments in technology where classification of broadcasting services should be independent of the platform from where the service is delivered or received, as developments in technology result in new platforms emerging or existing platforms evolving to deliver broadcasting services, which will require frequent reviews to the classification.
One of the amendments is to ensure that broadcasting service licensees broadcast in all languages spoken in the area they serve.
Mr. President, Clause 7 amends Section 11, subsection 4 of the Principal Act by ensuring that broadcasting service licenses broadcast in all languages in the area they serve. This is to promote the use of officially recognized languages identified in the Constitution. The amendment in Section 11, subsection 5, is to exempt licenses whose services emanate from outside the country from the requirement of allocating to government an hour weekly to explain government policies free of charge to the nation. Clause 11, subsection 7 is amended to make sure that if anyone fails to operate within 18 months, the license is automatically deemed invalid, as this makes it easier administratively for the authority to advertise since spectrum becomes automatically available.
The bill also introduces a new provision requiring vehicle owners to hold a valid ZBC radio license or an exemption certificate before obtaining a Zinara vehicle license or motor insurance policy. The Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill is now open for debate in Senate next week. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mount Abden.
Elsewhere, the National Prosecuting Authority says it achieved a case clearance rate of over 60% in 2024, with the authority pledging to combat corruption and improve justice delivery. Now, in a media briefing, Prosecutor General Justice Lois Matandamoyo emphasized the NPA's zero-tolerance policy towards corruption, revealing that 5 prosecutors are on trial for soliciting for bribes.
During the year 2024, we have done very well overall, having achieved a clearance rate of around 67% of the cases set down. So we hope that we are going to up our standards this year and clear more cases. We don't tolerate corruption in the National Prosecuting Authority of Zimbabwe. I think we have sent the right message to our officers. Right now we've got 5 public prosecutors who are undergoing trial for soliciting and receiving bribes. We really want the public to trust the National Prosecuting Authority of Zimbabwe, because this is the last line of defense. As regards the National Prosecuting Authority and the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, we have no choice except to work together. We are public servants, and as public servants and public institutions, we cannot afford to have misunderstandings which affect our work. Whatever misunderstandings which may arise, our approach is that such misunderstandings must be resolved soonest and work must continue.
The United Nations Zimbabwe Joint Steering Committee on Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework met in Harare this Wednesday to chart a strategic course in advancing sustainable development goals in the country.
Now in its fourth year of implementation, the Zimbabwe United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, ZNUSDCF, serves as a critical mechanism for providing strategic direction and policy oversight to the institutional arrangement to drive efforts towards sustainable development in Zimbabwe. United Nations Resident Coordinator, Mr. Edward Kalon, reiterated the importance of aligning strategic priorities for 2025 in light of the current shifts being experienced globally.
Today marked the fourth year of implementing the cooperation framework. It has been a challenging journey with some critical outcomes to celebrate and some challenges that we still have to continue working on. And this is even becoming extremely critical with the challenges to multilateralism we are facing today. Geopolitics is not helping either. That's to appreciate the government counterparts who have been with us in this journey from the start of this compact today, especially the co-chairs of the 4 pillars.
Representing the Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rishwaya, Deputy Chief Secretary Reverend Paul Damasane, stressed the importance of development partners in strengthening government efforts in allocating resources efficiently.
This robust architecture ensures that there is multi-stakeholder involvement and inclusivity in mobilizing the critical resources essential for acceleration of the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. It is imperative that all our interventions under the framework are aligned with the National Development Strategy 1, as earlier stated, and contribute meaningfully to Zimbabwe's transformative agenda under the NDS-1.
Zimbabwe, like many other countries, has been facing quite a number of adversities, both on the economic and social front, with government ensuring citizens are cushioned through implementation of various measures and policies that sustain economic growth. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, veteran journalist Geoffrey Nyarota, who died on the 23rd of this month, has been buried at his rural home in Makoni, Manicaland province.
The late veteran journalist Geoffrey Nyarota has been described by family and friends as a humble individual who has left a legacy of love and unity within his family and community.
Nokuti inini naJeffrey takatadana tagara for 50 years.
Muna commanded a lot of respect. He was selfless. He was loved by many. Even machirwara vaitoshingirira kuenda kunobatana nevamwe pangave panhamo pangave pamuchato.
Patakaenda nogara kuAmerica takatisingaziva vanhu kuMassachusetts takatingoriteka, but pawakasimuka ikauko kuna 2010 vakatisiya tine hama neshamwari dzakawanda.
Journalists attended the funeral in their numbers to give a befitting send-off to one of their own.
Nyarota vanzoti ukange wawana nyaya yaunenge uchitandanisa unofanirwa kuti kurutivi kwauri kunzwa nyaya yachona nekumwe kurutivi kwenyaya yachona kuti zvinobhalanza churudzi.
We are saddened as a profession to have lost one of our veterans, Geoffrey Nyarota, who taught most of us on the ethics of journalism.
He is one person who would always, in all the engagements that we had, always emphasize on the need to be professional, on the need to be fair, on the need to be accurate as a journalist.
The Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Mswere, described the death of Nyarota as a big loss to the media profession.
He was central to investigative journalism, and he was also a trainer of note. Aikurudzira vazhinji vanobata mabasa ekupepeta nawo kuti investigation, reporting on facts, verification of information, protection of journalists, these were part of the parameters that he believed that the media has a role to play in order to develop a nation. He also believed a lot in democracy. He remained consistent that the media should support democratic processes. The media should support proper, transparent functions of a government. He also believed that corruption was detrimental to society. Information is still verified. Ndio yakutenderera. Kana mumwe munhu akadetsana nevamwe kubato kwake akatoti musi wa 31 kune demonstration. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro vana baba nana mai. Ndiyo journalism yanga asingadi Nyarota. Aida journalism yema facts.
During his illustrious career, Nyarota was editor for the Financial Gazette, the Chronicle, the Newsday and Zimbabwe Times, and also authored 3 books. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
Well, do remember you can get these and more stories in detail on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also link up with us on various social media platforms. We are ZBC News Online. We're on YouTube, we're on X, and we're also on Instagram.
And before we take a break, here are the stories you can look forward to. When we look at your business news, Zimbabwe's labor sector engaging with the government and business on productivity. And still on cloud 9, Zimbabwe Warriors denting Nigeria's World Cup hopes after that 1-0 draw in Uyo. We will relive those fantastic moments from yesterday's game. Be sure to join us for that and a whole lot more when we come back.
Stroke of genius! Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosimuka manje. Stroke of genius and rukureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupinda mumabhengi semama business kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo man. Zvino ne stroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tumupinduka mubhengi sevamwe tutopuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kuduza kuti land ese yatone value.
Ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chera. Mundu wako uchatoreki yatova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru. Ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo. Security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi.
Exactly.
Zvichifambiswa sei?
President E.D. Mnangagwa igenius manje. Vakabva vati kuti zvinyatsofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent. Ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemapazi ehurumende.
Alright. But you unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo. Ndiyo kopo usiri kudiwa na President Mnangagwa iroro. Ndio saka Land Tenure Implementation Committee yakati ngatishandisei ma-ID numbers, number dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri. Plus land tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda patsvayo. tiri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema-title deeds.
Alright. Iwe saka zvichida kuti tato-protected kasevarimi.
Exactly manje.
Aiwa, vaiti vakona. Aiwa, president.
Ukanzwa kuti une stroke of genius here. President idi apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
The Commissioner General of Police Stephen Mutamba, Deputy Commissioner Generals, Commissioners, Senior Officers, and members of the Zimbabwe Republic Police and their families join His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Head of State and Government and Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the First Family and the entire nation in wishing Her Excellency the First Lady, Amai Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, a joyous and blessed 62nd birthday. Your selfless dedication to the nation, particularly in the areas of health, education, and community development, is inspirational and will spur the nation to move towards the attainment of an upper middle income economy by 2030. The Zimbabwe Republic Police expresses its heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support and partnership in the organization's efforts to maintain law and order. Your education into creating a safe and secure environment for all Zimbabweans has been a significant source of inspiration, motivating the police to intensify their efforts in combating road traffic accidents, rape, gender-based violence, as well as drug and substance abuse. Your visionary leadership in addressing the needs of abandoned victims of drug and substance abuse has brought hope and transformation to countless lives. The Zimbabwe Republic Police is indebted to your efforts in promoting women's participation in policing and your support for initiatives which enhance the welfare and professional development of women in the Zimbabwe Republic Police. Please accept the Zimbabwe Republic Police heartfelt congratulations on this special day. May it be filled with love, joy, and celebration. Makorokoto Amhlophe.
It's that time of the year. Amai's traditional cookout competition is back, featuring talented chefs from communities, tertiary institutions, and professional backgrounds. From the 19th of March to May 25th, 2025, the competition will take place across all the provinces of Zimbabwe. Introduced by Her Excellency Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, the event showcases culinary talent while celebrating our rich cultural heritage and promoting Zimbabwean gastronomy. This year's competitions include men and persons with disabilities within the community, in the spirit of leaving no one and no place behind. Join the 2025 Amai's traditional cookout competition in your province. Entry is free. Hashtag Experience Zimbabwe. Hashtag Zimbo.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news as we still continue with our countdown to Zimbabwe's 45th independence anniversary next month. While farmers from Hoodlands in Wange are expecting a bumper harvest thanks to the land reform program. Our reporter Tichona Kurewa has more.
Among several countries in the sub-Saharan Africa ravaged by El Nino-induced drought that left farmers devastated. However, this year's story is different, with a bumper harvest on the horizon in the usually dry Wange district. Farmers in the resettlement area are enjoying the fruits of independence after not only benefiting from the land reform program but also from continued government support.
Independence yakabuza rusununguko kwatiri takashandirwa nokuti ilenda jawe nayo feo takawana ilenda yokuti kwanise kurere ng'ombe chedu nembuchi zose zontibe nazo nokulima titengere kulima kukulwana munyika yonazo.
Yambonga uhulumende wethu wasifundisa ukuthi silime ivuvuza. Ngesikhathi singalimi ivuvuza sasingala sivuno. Simbonga esinika inhlanyelo lama fertilizer ukuze lapho siyabe silime khona sibe lenzuzo.
Through ukubona abanye be-adopta that Pfumvudza thing, abaningi sebejoyina ukwenza ukuthi babe lokudla bekwanisa ukuthi bathengise okunye baphile throughout the year.
Lonyaka besikhangelela ukuvuna okuzwayo kulinyiwe sibili kodwa kulawa okungadliwanga khona hayi bazadobhadobha kancane okwendlalo kwalonyaka hayi kungcono.
The traditional leadership is also optimistic of a bumper harvest.
Kabaselesi hayi kulinyiwe. We expect sizahambisa sibili GMP.
Government continues to institute measures to ensure food self-sufficiency and reduce imports. These include sinking boreholes, establishing village business units and irrigation schemes, as well as providing farming inputs. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Wange.
From Wange, we now cross over to our Montreal studios in Bulawayo, where Memory Queen Lovu will give us more news from that end. A very good evening to you.
Always great to see you, Joyce. A good evening to you and good evening to the viewers at home. Moving on with the bulletin, the second Africa Continental Free Trade Area Association of Commodities Exchanges Conference kicked off in Victoria Falls this Wednesday with focus on stimulating investment in Africa.
As Africa still imports between 80 and 100 billion United States dollars worth of food annually, Zimbabwe is actively exploring the export opportunities brought about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, and Association of Commodities Exchanges, ACX. Zimbabwe confirmed the strides it is making in that direction during the official opening of the second Africa Continental Free Trade Area Association of Commodities Exchange.
Zimbabwe now is surplus wheat, and we expect up to 250,000 metric tons being surplus wheat. We also have surpluses in tobacco. We produce, I think this year will be 300 million kilograms, so some 290 million will be surplus, for which we are looking for markets, for horticulture, for much more. This is a momentous occasion on this second conference for you to be able to explore innovative ways of ensuring that that 200 billion is spent on purchasing from ourselves, so that we can not just produce to feed ourselves, so that we can become active economic participants.
AACX is upbeat about Zimbabwe's potential to cut food imports from outside the continent.
Wheat is one of those that's coming out of Zimbabwe. There are other countries who've expressed interest in receiving wheat. Not many of the African countries are actually producing wheat. Zimbabwe is a key player, so they will benefit obviously from the surpluses that you're now producing to be able to provide to other African countries.
Zimbabwe has intensified efforts to ramp up production in the agriculture sector through establishment of irrigation schemes, setting up of village business units, climate-proofing agriculture, and issuing of title deeds to agricultural land beneficiaries, among other initiatives. The second AACX is focusing on fostering collaboration, promoting regional trade integration, and advancing investment in African commodities markets. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
A manhunt has been launched for 3 suspects in connection with the gruesome murder of a Matibe man at a beer binge in Beitbridge.
Villagers in Zulunga under Chief Matibe in Beitbridge were left shell-shocked after the trio of Preni Ndou, Francis Ndou and Clive Mudau allegedly killed their drinking companion Titus Ndou in the full glare of the public. It is alleged that the now deceased was in the company of Francis Ndou drinking traditional Amarula Opec beer when they started fighting over an unknown issue and were restrained by other patrons. It is further alleged that after some time, Francis returned with his friends Clive and Preni and started assaulting the deceased. The deceased then tried to flee but was caught up by Preni, who stabbed him with an okapi knife, leading to his death. Matebeleland South Acting Police Spokesperson Assistant Inspector Stanford Muguni confirmed the incident. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Bedbridge.
The Africa Clinical Research Network is continuing its mission to increase Africa's participation in clinical trials and research, with Zimbabwe set to reap significant benefits from strengthened collaborations in global clinical research.
The Africa Clinical Research Network, ACRN, is facilitating discussions between government officials, international pharmaceutical companies, and health organizations to position Zimbabwe as a hub for world-class medical trials. This initiative is expected to bring numerous benefits to the country, including improved healthcare outcomes and increased investment in the life sciences sector. According to ACRN Chief Executive Officer Dr. Tariro Makadzange, the organization is working to bridge the gap in clinical research on the continent.
At the moment, less than 2% of trials are done on the continent. Most of those are infectious diseases, so things like HIV, malaria, TB. But as we know, we have diseases that are much more broad than that. We have family members with high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, kidney disease, a whole range of diseases. But as a continent, we are not contributing to developing new therapies at the level that we need to.
In a speech read on his behalf by the Chief Director, Curative Services, Dr. Maxwell Hove, the Minister of Health and Child Care, Dr. Douglas Mwambeshora, reaffirmed government's commitment to supporting clinical research, recognizing its vital role in advancing medical knowledge and treatment options.
Our government is interested to transforming Zimbabwe into a center of excellence for clinical research. This includes creating a sustainable life sciences industry that can fuel economic growth while enhancing healthcare outcomes for all Zimbabweans.
The network aims to bridge the gap in clinical research, focusing on a broad range of diseases, including non-communicable diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and kidney complications. By linking researchers across various therapeutic areas with sponsor partners, ACRN hopes to facilitate a deeper understanding of how medicines work in African populations. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report taking us back to you, Butler and Joyce. Have a pleasant evening.
Oh, thank you, Memory, and our crew from Montrose Studios in Bulawayo. We continue from Pockets Hill. The government's Pfumvudza in Twasa program is bearing fruit, with communal farmers achieving high yields through leveraging on the climate-proof program. Lisa Masuku reports.
With the country targeting to achieve 1.8 million metric tons of grain this year, smallholder farmers, including Enomgoza-based couple Josiah and Matilda Bitsirai, who have embraced the Pfumvudza or Intwasa concept, are testifying how the concept has guaranteed food security at household level.
Ulima uvuvuza siunguqalise ngu-2023 kuthi ukuthi kathesi sekuminyaka wesibili ngubonile uvuvuza uthi uyaphakamisa njalo mina bengimuntu ophansi kakhulu ngumuntu oyesemaplazini oyevele ngalalutho kathesi sengikwanisile ngovuvuza ukulima ngithola izifuyo.
Siyabonga ngoba sicela ukuthi abalimi indlela abasifundise ngayo ukuthi sichaya ugajompo hayi ugajompo yakuvusa sesivukile sibili ngogajompo ba kuke kwafika ilanga lokuthi kuche kodwa kusachanga thina sichaya ugajompo kwabanye kwadana kakhulu.
Having plotted diverse crops in over 20 plots, the couple is also targeting to penetrate the commercial market. The move by communal farmers to grow traditional grains such as sorghum and cowpeas fits into the country's agricultural climate-proofing strategy.
As we go on with the intensification of climate change, we need to focus more on those crops that will give us a yield, whether it rains or not. So at household level, traditional grains would eventually give us more for climate proofing and for food security than would maize in regions 4 and 5.
The planting of the drought-resistant traditional grains, especially in ecological regions 4 and 5, is meant to promote adequate staple grain production to achieve national food self-sufficiency. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Umgoza.
Well, farmers in Mashonaland Central Province are on the brink of a bumper harvest after the Pfumvudza Intwasa scheme proved effective in boosting crop yields for the 6th consecutive season.
Abel Masunga of Nyavuti Farm is a model farmer in Guruve district thanks to the successful Pfumvudza Intwasa scheme popularized by government in 2020.
Round figure hectare yatakarima tungoti parizvino takarima chibage nesoya beans nenyemba shoma shoma. So
goro rinotitasira kuti nemuguri yatiri kutoona 11 tons tinosvika. Program yepfumvudza idai munhu aitora woisa mumoyo, nekuti wakaisa mumoyo kana pakazonzi hapana kubatsirwa nema-inputs, still unongoramba uchiita nekuti inokubatsira.
Masunga has recorded so much success under the Pfumvudza Intwasa scheme such that Mashayan Central provincial agronomists, input suppliers and government officials converged at his farm this Tuesday to learn and demonstrate the effectiveness of conservation farming.
Food security at household level ndo chinhu chatiri kumanya nacho. Saka tinoda kuti marimi vazhinji kana tichinge taita field day vauye vaone kuti Pfumvudza inoitwa sei.
Tazvipira kuti tikwanise kuwana mbeu itsva pamaketi kuti vanhu varime vagute tugutsa nyika.
Agriculture contributes 33% to Mashayan Central Province gross domestic product, and government is impressed by the contribution of farmers like Masunga to agricultural productivity.
Yield per hectare ndiye muri kunyanyofamba nayo, ndo iri kukurudzirwa. Zimunda kura rinouraya vatenzi nebasa, nekuti uchada kufamba ndima refu uchisakura, uchada kuspreya ndima refu asi yield yako yeta maybe 2 tons per hectare. Imuri kutarisa 11 tons.
With the majority of Pfumvudza farmers on the verge of securing bumper harvests, government is shifting focus on the upcoming winter wheat season. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Kuruve.
Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly with business news.
It has come to the attention of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage that there are some bogus individuals claiming to be ministry officials purportedly carrying out door-to-door verifications of national identity documents in the eastern suburbs. Please be informed that the ministry, which is being referred to as Ministry of Internal Affairs, does not have such officers on the ground. Anyone who is claiming to be acting on our behalf should be reported to the police immediately. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage further wishes to inform the public that the conduct of the national census is the mandate of the Zimbabwe National Statistical Agency, and the last census was held in 2022. The next census will only be held in 2032. The preparations thereof and communication of information related to the census is purely the mandate of Zimstat, and when that period draws nearer, the public will accordingly be informed. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, towards a secure and peaceful environment.
Makadi muri Zimbabwe ndokuchingamidza nemufaro zita ndinoitwa Yusuf Banda ndinofara kuzivisa mose kuti muno muZimbabwe muna April tichange tiine muranda wamwanzi Prophet Kaku Philip nabvanyika Ivory Coast vanenge vachibata basa raMwari munzvimbo dzinoti Harare kubva musi wa3 kusvika musi wa9, voti Bulawayo kubva musi wa11 kusvika 15, voti Gweru kubva musi wa17 kusvika 18, voti Masvingo kubva musi wa9 kusvika 20, vachidzopedzisira nekwaMutare kubva musi wa20 kusvika 22. Uyai mose munamatiwe pachena mahara.
Welcome to a new era in tobacco farm. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, TIMB, has rolled out the biometric grower management system to protect every genuine tobacco grower. With this innovative technology, only you can verify your identity for account adjustments, input collection, stop orders, and insurance. You also get support and payments without delays. Biometrics offer you security, efficiency, and transparency. transparency. Why wait? Visit the nearest TIMB office now with your national ID. We will capture your fingerprints and link them to your grower number. You can also register at tobacco selling points as you sell your tobacco. It's fast and it's easy. We guarantee that your biometric data is protected and will only be used to improve the tobacco industry database and processes. Our offices are in Harare, Ntare, Lusape, Marandera, Bindura, Karoi, Mvurwi, and Chimbui. Visit the office nearest to you, get your fingerprints captured, and secure a thriving future for the tobacco industry. Register your fingerprints. Secure your future. Grow with confidence.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
To the back of the net!
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
This is the time to take risks.
Incredible!
I've heard good things about you. Don't let me down.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Welcome back. It's now time for business news. Zimbabwe's labor sector has lined up more engagements with government and business on measures to facilitate the achievement of a 6% growth target this year.
Productivity emerged as a key issue during the launch of the Association for Labor Practitioners of Zimbabwe on Wednesday, with the stakeholders agreeing to collaborate on policies to sustain the country's growth trajectory.
Our association aims to bring networking opportunities to all practitioners of labor law in Zimbabwe and across Africa. So in order to enhance productivity and social justice at the workplaces, we engage both employer and employee representatives to be part of the association.
Labor law practitioners also explained the importance of engagements with the government and business.
The role of labor is to promote good industrial relations, industrial harmony. So labor comes in to ensure that both the employer and employee, they've got a voice, they are heard, social justice to make the workplace better.
Globalization speaks to the very question that you have asked, which is the role of productivity. And with globalization, the world is headed in the new direction, a direction in which the three parties that you mentioned, the state, call it capital, and labor, need to find each other to ensure a fair distribution of wealth.
Zimbabwe, under the umbrella of the Tripartite Negotiating Forum, has reaffirmed a continuous dialogue to boost productivity. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Our look at business news. Let's now take a look at the arts. Now, the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe has engaged stakeholders in the music space to find common ground over a cover band tariff fee, which has been pegged at $150 United States dollars per show. Let's hear from National Arts Council of Zimbabwe spokesperson Aganya Binde, who sheds more light on the engagements that have taken place so far.
There has been an issue where musicians were complaining that there is a rise in the number of bands that are surviving on cover music. And these are 100% cover music bands where they play most of the music which they don't own. So some of the composers belong to Zimura, which is Zimbabwe Music Rights Association, and through that body they lobbied that there should be a $150 tariff paid as a license for any band that wants to perform covers on each show that they do. And because of that, a lot of artists did not receive it well, including some of the artists that are also composers. There was a meeting at National Arts Council of Zimbabwe last Friday where various music stakeholders were invited, and they had a serious dialogue on the issue, and they all agreed that it is legal for all cover bands to pay something towards the composers because it is someone's intellectual property.
All right, Aganya Binde there, the spokesperson for the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe. It is still a very hot issue that is currently making rounds around the musical circles, but also making rounds around the world of sport has been the issue of the Warriors' encounter with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That and more coming up when we take a look at sport with Anashe after the break.
In a world where time is currency, every minute counts. Let's be real here. Who has time to waste on grocery shopping? I mean, I'd rather be organizing paperwork all day, or better still, watching paint dry. Anything but grocery shopping. But then I discovered Click and Collect. TM Pick and Pay's online grocery shopping platform. I can order online and collect at my convenience with no parking hassles, no queues. Thank you. And still have plenty of time for the important stuff, like taking a nap. Click and Collect. It's not just an online service, it's real convenience. TM Pick and Pay. Real value, always.
Makadi muri Zimbabwe ndo chikamzana mfaro zita ndinoitwa Yusuf Banda ndinofara kuzivisa emoso kuti muno muZimbabwe muna April tichange tichemuranda wamwanzi Prophet Kakufili panabonyeka Ivory Coast vanenge vachibata basa ramwari munzvimbo dzinoti Harare kubva musi wa 3 kusvika musi wa 9 voti Bulawayo kubva musi wa 11 kusvika 15 voti Gweru kubva musi wa 17 kusvika 18 voti Masvingo kubva musi wa 9 kusvika 20 vachidzopedzisira nekwamutare kubva musi wa 20 kusvika 22 uyai mose munamatiwe pachena mahara.
When I first heard about Showmax, I was like, what's a Showmax? No wires, no extra gadgets, no watching at this time or that time. That's because Showmax isn't a TV channel. It's a streaming service. That means all you need is the internet and something smart, like my phone. Instant access to tons of hit series, movies, and more.
Best of all, there's something for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up for Showmax now.
The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Stembiso G. Nyoni, the Deputy Minister, Honorable John Paradza, the Permanent Secretary, Ambassador T.T. Chifamba, the Directorate and staff of the Ministry join the nation in celebrating the life of our patron for environment, International Wildlife Ambassador and the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Amai Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. As patron for environment, her unwavering dedication for environmental stewardship has seen her leading from the front and championing a number of initiatives, such as the National Cleanup Program. Her passion for wildlife and tree conservation have seen her being appointed International Ambassador for Wildlife. Her efforts in tree planting and wildlife conservation have safeguarded our precious biodiversity, ensuring that future generations enjoy the wonders of our natural world. Her tireless efforts in tree planting initiatives have not only greened our landscapes, but also inspired communities to take action in combating climate change. By leading from the front, Amai Dr. Mnangagwa has instilled a sense of collective responsibility and pride in keeping our communities clean and sustainable. Her philanthropic work, rooted in compassion and service, has touched countless lives, empowering communities and fostering a culture of care for both people and the planet. As we celebrate her life and legacy, we honor her steadfast commitment to protecting our shared natural resources and promoting eco-friendly practices. We say, Happy birthday, Amai, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. We wish you many impactful and inspiring years ahead. Congratulations, Makorokoto Amhlobe.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shembrombazi here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, it looks like the Warriors are still the talk of the moment as their rising star Tawanda Chirewa silenced a packed Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo after leveling for Zimbabwe in the final minute to deal a major blow to Nigeria's World Cup qualification prospect in a 1-1 draw this Tuesday.
As expected, the 30,000-seater Godswill Akpabio Stadium was packed to full capacity, with some fans even standing after failing to secure seats. A pre-match at the stadium announcer was busy singing praises of Nigerian stars led by Victor Osimhen of Galatasaray, African Footballer of the Year Ademola Lookman, Achola Miobi, and others like Victor Boniface, among others. The announcers went on to get match predictions from the fans while the players were warming up. 5-0 was the common prediction, while some went as wild as 9-0. When the match started as expected, the Super Eagles were on the front foot. However, Washington Narubi made two crucial saves within the first 10 minutes before the Warriors settled down and started creating chances of their own. At the start of the second half, replicated the first stanza once again, Zimbabwe equal to the task. The hosts finally found at the back of the net in the 74th minute after star player Victor Osimhen headed home and Ola Aina cross to send the stadium into a frenzy. But Zimbabwe had the last laugh after 21 order Tawanda Chirewa, a later substitute, equalized in the 90th minute to end Zimbabwe draw and be the name everyone remembers after almost certainly killing Nigeria's World Cup dream. The Warriors could have walked away with 3 points had knowledge Msona's striker, which bounced off the crossbar, had not been actually judged not to have crossed the line. After 6 rounds of the 10-match group campaign, Nigeria have slipped 6 points behind the leader South Africa, who secured a 2-0 away win against Benin. Zimbabwe have 4 points. Nigeria, who missed out on the 2022 World Cup, are fourth in Group C. Only the 9 group winners will qualify for the expanded 48-team tournament next year. At the 4 best placed, the second-place sides will play off for a spot at the Intercontinental Tournament, which will decide the final spots in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Lawrence Rusida, ZBC News, Uyo.
Well, they were looking for a 9-0 win over our Warriors, but looks like the Super Eagles were hunted by the Warriors. Moving on, still in football back home, Blaue Giants Highlanders are hoping to increase their revenue coffers after hiking gate charges for their upcoming home draw with Scotland.
Coming in of New Boys Scotland onto the football fray seems to be a wake-up call for big guns that football can be professionalized for better financial inflows. With financial constraints weighing heavily on the Blaue Giants, Highlanders have decided to tape on the upcoming fixture, which is a must-watch for football fans in the city after Scotland raided Bosso's vital cog. Football fans will have to fork out $5 for the rest of the ground in a fixture likely to witness a brimming Barberfield Stadium on Sunday. Highlanders concluded their tour of Beitbridge in preparation for the epic tie. The fixture, which was shelved owing to the Warriors' participation in the World Cup qualifiers, has remained topical in the streets of Bulawayo, an indicator that it has emerged as one of the biggest fixtures on the domestic scene. The New Boys have set the pace in professionalizing the game, something which has seen big guns uniting in support of Scotland opponents. Football coaches believe the emergence of such a fixture is a good ingredient for local football.
It's a very interesting fixture. You saw the Ngezi versus Scotland. It was almost full. The stadium was almost full. But guess what? Most of the supporters were not Ngezi Platinum supporters. Most of them were Dynamos and probably Caps. So they've really ignited excitement, and we expect PF to be full up.
I think it's now bigger than the Dynamos Highlanders, the Saints Highlanders game, the FC Platinum Highlanders game. We're yet to see, obviously, but it is now bigger than those games in the past. And obviously, at the current moment, there's a lot of tension on how things transpired, the evolution of Scotland, how they assembled their team and so on.
Two teams carrying different fortunes in performance, the game will be more of bragging rights. Scotland raided 4 key members of the Bosso squad, setting the stage for an interesting duel. Bosso have collected 4 points from 3 outings, while a wounded Vira have 6 points in the bag after the same number of games, setting the stage for an epic encounter. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture has embarked on a countrywide tour to assess sports infrastructure with a view to finding ways of improving the facilities.
Khumalo Hockey Stadium was constructed in 1995 when the country hosted the All-Africa Games in Harare and Bulawayo and remains one of the best facilities after facilities in Namibia, South Africa certified to stage continental hockey. With an oversight role, Parliament used to summon stakeholders to give oral evidence. A new way of doing things has seen the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture embarking on an inaugural visit to assess sports infrastructure. The committee came face to face with how bureaucratic tendencies and unclear ownership structures are hindering the maintenance of sports facilities. Matabeleland Hockey Board President David Small welcomed the Portfolio Committee's visit.
If Parliament is serious about the objectives that they've outlined today and making it easier for the stadium to be fixed and revenues to benefit hockey, it'll be a good thing.
Unlike the other visited cities like Harare, Mutare, Masvingo, Bulawayo has enjoyed an infrastructure legacy, having hosted big competitions including the Region 5 games.
All the money that we raise from here is actually put in a central account at head office. So you would find that there are breakages of even windows that you will see, small things that we could do. And we hope going forward we might be able to get a small lot and maybe attend to such small things.
We have viewed and made an assessment. Our role as Parliament is an oversight role. We want to make sure that we don't lag behind. We want to host international games in Zimbabwe.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Farajere, said improvement of sports facilities is high on the agenda.
We were used to calling different people to Parliament for oral evidence. But as Parliament, we said, no, let's go out there and see, are we on target with the Vision 2030? That sport for all and all the president doesn't want to leave anyone behind. Are we in line with that?
Sports fraternity.
That's it from the Sports Corner, where the reporting focus is up next.
You're well prepared if you're going to go out, if you're going to do whatever you do, just ensure that the weather is your close companion. Well, that brings us to the end of the main news tonight, Joyce.
Yes, it is, and good night.
There is a province located in the southeast area of Zimbabwe whose earth crust oozes with sweetness, which feeds the vast sugar plantations in Terezi. No wonder why it is also known as the Sweet Province. This province is the cradle of the Shona people. From the ancient times, it was home to some of the greatest Shona kings and kingdoms. The Rosary Kingdom, for one. It is believed that some of the greatest architectural minds came from this province. A case in point is the construction of the Great Zimbabwe, whose entire edifice is not supported or held together by cement except plain rocks that balance on each other. Creating such an amazing rocky structure shows admirable ingenuity and astonishing craftiness. Such architecture can only come from a genius people. The name of this province is Masvingo.
Masvingo province is one of the provinces which is strategically located. It's unique. It's one province here in Zimbabwe. It has the name of the country, the Great Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. It is equidistant to